Hey everybody, Pastor Bill here. This is Fixing Things. Last week was kind of a disappointment. There was no way I was going to be able to weld that flywheel up inside the hole. I mean, it was a valiant try, but with the light coming in from behind my mask, reflecting off everything, as soon as I struck an arc, it was like blinding me. And then as soon as the arc let off, I couldn't see anymore. It was just, the blind spots in front of my eyes. It was almost as if I was trying to weld without a helmet on. But if I can get the flywheel off, it definitely would work, because then I can see what I'm welding. But I ain't worried about that. We got the transmission loose already. We got a few things to take off. We're going to take care of that. I bought me a battery operated impact to take off some of the heavy stuff. This thing is supposed to be powerful enough to take the lug nuts off this truck. We'll find that out one day. But I got a brand new flywheel sitting right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that transmission down. My son loaned me a transmission jack. I don't know if you can see it right there or not. And we're going to cradle it underneath that transmission and slide it out. But we got a few things we got to take care of. There's a belly pan inside the cab. I got to take that off, and then take off the wire that goes to the reverse switch and the speedometer cable. Oh, excuse me. Once I get that off, that transmission's ready to slide back. I only got to get it to where the tip of the transmission is past the bell housing. That's it. Then I'll just leave it up in the air, and as soon as I get the new clutch, the flywheel put in, and I may or may not put it back together today for several things. One, if the disc on the clutch is no good, then I'm going to go ahead and order me a new one. So the problem is there's quite a few different discs when I was looking them up for this truck, so I need to know what disc it is. I know what size it is, and I know what spline it is according to the book. But you know something, before I spend that kind of money, I want to know that's exactly what it is. So let's get busy and start fixing things. I had a visitor come by, so it's eating up my time. But I'm back on it. While he was here, I ripped the carpet out. I was going to try to save the rubber mat, but there was no saving it. It just fell apart. I'm going to try my brand new impact. When I was down below last week, I sprayed the bottom sides of these bolts with PB Blaster. That one came out. Make sure it's not hot. That one either came out or broke. Might have to put a vice grip on the other side. Alright, the reason I got to take this off is I need room to slide this back to get the transmission out. So if this will slide back to here, that's more than enough room. That way I don't have to pull the transmission completely out. Nice if they can get that up. Got it. Little ingenuity. Two more. I have no idea. They glued this thing down. That didn't come off too. For some reason it likes to go back to forward once you get done with it. That one might need a wire brush. Got a lot of surface rust in here and a lot of, hopefully my floors ain't ate through. That'll be another fixing things. Not good. Got it. Pretty bad when the rust eats the bolt head up. Maybe I can beat a smaller socket onto it. Oh. Maybe the vice grip method. Where's Derek when you need him? If not, I may have to drill it. I ended up grinding that last head off. Sorry I left you out of it. Sometimes we just got to get things done. So far, so good. Where's my PB blaster? Looks like I got to get, I don't know, maybe I can shove this through there. Guess I got to get up in here. It's the first time I've been in the truck for 20 years. Besides leaning over it. Get over that. Oh yeah, it's oval, so it'll work. Just like that. I'm gonna repair this pan, make it like brand new too, before we put it back together. All right, so now I can get to some of this stuff without even getting underneath there. That's a plus. That was easy. All right. My microphone's getting ready to fall off. That thunder noise was me touching the microphone. All right. So it looks like the brake light switch just kind of plugs in right there. I gotta find my PB blaster. Squirrels and rats, man, they've been everywhere. Looks like I need to put a little tack and weld on my emergency brake flipper over thingy. Oh no, I just gotta a quick disconnect. Got it. All right, that part was easy. Get up out of the way. See, the transmission's loose. Did you see that? It's ready to come out of there. All right. Last week I bruised up my hip pretty bad. I think I was laying on the titanium pieces that are in there. I bruised it on the inside. Pastor Bill, why'd you do that? I don't know. All right, let me get a socket. So far, my brand new impact thing seems to be working. That was easy. Take that off, drop it out, put the bolt back in it so we don't lose it. Only thing left now is the speedometer cable, and put that big jack up underneath there. Alright, so what I got here is my Harbor Freight jack. Let me pan you out. And I made a piece of plywood thingy because that piece of junk is not a piece of junk, but I just can't move it. It's just too heavy. So this is going to fit over the cradle, and I'm going to screw the 2 blocks of wood onto it, and then lift the transmission up. Then pull it out of the way and get the clutch out, I hope. So please stand by. Crap. Come on now. I should put, let me screw a couple blocks, little blocks. These 4x4s are too big. All right. Pull slack out of that. Okay. Go ahead and grab the well, the throwout bearing's completely wore out. All right, let's see if we can't get this. I want to get this transmission further back. All right, so now we gotta get the flywheel, the pressure plate off. Hopefully that goes easy. Probably not. Sockets. One. Two. All right. At least I ain't got to worry about the teeth on this one. I have a brand new release bearing, throw out bearing coming. It's just not here. Oh, what the heck? This darn transmission. All right, I gotta get something. I don't know what. Something to poke it with. It's so rusty that the socket won't fit on it. Let me try the next size smaller. I might have to go to the metric. That's just not even funny. That's just not funny at all. I don't know if it moved or not. Kind of gets on there. Let me get a shorter extension. Lord, I need your help. Lord, I need your help. In Jesus' name I pray. Definitely replace that the pressure plate and the disc. Ugh. Come on. That's the right size. All right, I'm back. Sorry. The government has my camera so that it only does 30 minutes of recording. So what you missed was me grinding the nut, the bolt off of it. I already got it rotated to the next set of bolts. So after this, it should pop off. Oh, and thank God. Oh, so I guess that's the section that it just got so rusty it was sitting underneath in the rat poop. All right, I mean, move stuff so it don't come down and break stuff, like my fingers. So I suppose the only thing holding it on right now is rust. if you can see it. Probably my head's in the way. Never had one that rusty before. Unless I'm missing another set of bolts. Oh, I think I am. It's not 3 sets of bolts, it's 4 sets of bolts. Alright, you keep watching. Let me know when the next set of bolts come up. Ugh. This is crazy. I need a shop. Good Lord, I need a shop. Please, I need a shop. I don't know if you can see me or not, but I'm rotating. Probably got to invest in a wide-angle lens. That'd probably make me look too fat. I'm already too fat. Yeah, this is not 3 sets of bolts. This is a big clutch. It's got 4 sets of bolts. Oh, I didn't quite roll it over far enough. Why didn't you tell me? The clutch discs don't look too bad. I'm putting a pressure plate in there. I'm putting a new clutch thingy in there too. I hope I ain't got to get that bell housing out of there. Definitely hitting the cross member. The clutch fork. I can't tell which way the clutch. I gotta get up in the cab on the other side and look down here and see which way the clutch fork snaps over that. I need a real deep socket. Spray that with PB Blaster a little bit. See, that's the clip that goes over that. I can feel the clip. I can feel the nub. I think if the clutch fork comes out of there, or if I can get the disc to slide out, it might give me a little bit of room. I know, Pastor Bill, why don't you take the pressure plate off? That's Marshall Wabash. Marshall Wabash is okay. Hey.
Hey, bought you some sustenance. I'll go in there and drop it off.
So, some what? What do you say, Mr. Preston, Mr. Wabash?
Nothing much. Still up there, huh?
Well, I had to grind one of the bolts off on the back of the pressure plate. But now the the old pressure plate won't come out the hole. So now I think if I figure out how the clutch fork goes in there, I might be able to get that off. Problem is I don't want to stick my head right there next to the transmission. Billy's jack was too heavy for me to move.
I said it was a beast.
Oh, it was. I gave it everything I could.
I sent you a message last night because my stupid messenger wasn't working.
Oh,
I go on your regular Facebook page and send you a message.
Oh.
I said, if you need some help, give me a buzz.
Problem is there ain't.
How heavy that jack was when we tried to get it off the truck.
Yeah, right. I don't know what he was thinking, and I spent half the morning trying to get the brakes off the back of this thing, and I don't even know how they're hooked on there. So I figure if I get the transmission out of here, I can at least figure that. But I don't even want to try to get it out of here yet. I'm about half tempted just to put it back in the way it was. But the throw-up bearing that came out of it was completely shot. Lucky that didn't. And one of the bolts, I guess it was sitting on the bottom, rusted so teeny that the socket wouldn't go on it.
You got a jacket transmission up to get it over that bar, or is it? I'm not looking at something wrong.
You talking about this here?
Well, the cross member.
Yeah, the cross member holds up the back of the motor.
Okay. I'm looking at empty bolts on this side. That's all.
Yeah, if I can get, I was hoping I can get the, like, either put the disc up a little bit. Then maybe the pressure plate will go forward enough to come out, but I think the clutch fork is not allowing it to. So I think I got to get the clutch fork so it'll move one way or the other. Take the spring off. This is the part of stuff I hate. Yeah. S-wing hammer. I'm pretty sure if I can get it apart, I can get the. I should have took the clutch fork out of there before I let the pressure plate drop. So that one bolt is over it. I didn't get the clutch out of the truck yesterday. And I didn't get the emergency brake assembly off the back of the transmission and the speedometer cable. I didn't get that off of there either. And I was just covered in dirt. I'm wearing the same clothes. I put on the same clothes because I figured I'm going to get just as dirty today. The clutch did not come out. Ford, in their better ideas, have a huge hole under the on the F600s, F500s, 700s, for the FT engines have a huge hole to have access to get that all out. But they put the cross member right underneath it, and the cross member holds up the engine. So it's like, why even put the access hole in there if you got to remove the bell housing to get it off? But I got a plan. I think we're going to notch the cross member, and then later I'm going to weld in a piece of metal there to retain its strength. But we're not going to take enough metal away to make it, fail. We're just going to take enough to get that the pressure plate and the disc out. Now, I noticed that yesterday one of the bolts was so rusted that I couldn't get a socket on it. It was just rotted away. So I think that was one of the enemies of the disc. Was it was sitting in the bottom, probably somewhere, and water just sat on it along with the rat's nest and everything else, and just ate away on the bottom of the flywheel and on that nut, because the rest of it looks pretty good. So I got a plan. I'm gonna probably use some Rust-Oleum paint on the back of the flywheel and on the front side of the teeth, and probably coat the bolts and stuff like that also. That way, future rushed, because I'm gonna keep this truck for a long time. All day. I want to thank Marshall Wabash for coming out and helping me out. He's not my enemy. I know there's a lot of, he wanted to shoot my tractor up, for the competition and everything, but the competition never happened, and me and him were on good terms, and he came over and helped me lift up that 5,000-pound transmission jack and everything else. So thank you, Mr. Wabash. I got a new clutch ordered, but I was hoping I'd be able to use the old one. So I got a brand new throwout bearing, but a new throwout bearing's coming with the new clutch. Good thing is you can still buy parts for these vehicles, even though they're hard to get. Listen. It's rolling better now. Yesterday it was hardly moving at all. But I got a brand new one. So it's a little wider, but that's okay. But it's the exact same height. It looks like it's going to rain, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to get up in the 60s today. It's already 41 degrees outside. Yesterday, I think it was 43 was the heat of the high of the heat yesterday. So right now the clutch is hanging half out of the transmission. And so I'm going to go ahead and either push that clutch back up, we are going to do that. That's what we're going to do. Someone just texted me. Who's that? Probably Mr. Wabash. No. They're telling me I'm going to be busy tomorrow at the shop cutting hair. All right, as you can see right there, I can't tell if it's focused on that or not, but the disc and the pressure plate are hanging out, but it's grabbing onto the stupid cross member. So I'm going to try to cut that cross member out of there. Okay, we are recording. Yeah, so Marshall Wabash and I was prying on this. We had a digging bar on it. We had all kinds of, I mean, for hours. I mean, at the point I had to grind the nut off of it. There was no saving the pressure plate. Because you don't want to, it's all like spring steel on the pressure plate. Okay. The flywheel was off. Is off. And now you can take a good look at them teeth. Where I attempted to weld them. It was building up. And here's where I had to grind a bolt off. It was so rusty that it wouldn't come off. And this is pretty rusty. The pressure plate, I mean the disc, it was down to a rivet there, down to a rivet here, pretty close to a rivet right over here. Remanufactured. This is the second flywheel, well, maybe not flywheel, but the backside is fairly clean, and you can tell where it's been sitting in the rust. I sure hope the new one's the right size. I'm not sure why they don't make these things out of styrofoam. So it's 14 7/8. 14 7/8. Hope it's a 13-inch disc. 16 1/8. Sixteen and an eighth. That appears to be the flywheel. So I guess I'm gonna take a break, grab me a soda, put that new flywheel up in there, and put the bell housing back together. And what else? Put the starter back on, hook the fuel line up, and start it. Just came back from my break. Then put a little coat of paint on there. Why are you doing that, Pastor Bill? Because this is raw cast iron. And raw cast iron likes to rust. We'll hit as soon as that dries, we'll hit the other side. I ought to check the L bolt pattern though. Center to center on the push, on the slack, 14 1/4. Yep, perfect. All right, that shouldn't take too long. I'm sitting here watching paint dry. All right, I got the flywheel in and the bell housings bolt backed up. I don't have it set down on the perches yet, because I want to make sure I have enough room to get that pressure plate and disc back up in there. I also got to get the throwout bearing out, but I'm going to wait to do that when I get my new one, because I don't want to take this one out, because it does rotate, but it's not in good shape. I don't want to take this one out until I know that the other one fits. Well, I'm going to get another one anyways. I'm going to take it out on the next episode. So I got the starter back in. Got all those bolts on the flywheel. And I can tell you, it's cast iron bell housing. That thing is some kind of heavy. The flywheel is some kind of heavy. Everything on this truck is some kind of heavy. The sun is going down, the temperature's starting to drop. And I think this is going to be it for today. I still got a lot of tools to clean up. I want to couple special thanks out there to my son for loaning me a transmission jack. Even though I didn't use it, it was just too heavy. But it's a beautiful looking transmission jack. It would have worked just fine if I could move it. What I did do is, you've seen in this episode, I used my Harbor Freight racing jack because it's fast. And used that and made a little block that fit over top of it that would cradle the transmission. And it worked just great. It's holding it up, it's not sagging or anything. Also, I want to thank, special thanks to Marshall Wabash, who came over yesterday, and he was a big help to me. He got wrenches for me and got sockets for me and pry barred stuff, and he even reached down and grabbed that big jack and moved it around. Oh my gosh. Thank God some people still got strength in their hearts. I know for me, as for me, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it sure feels nice to have that flywheel up in there. Next episode, if it gets here, the clutch and the pressure, the disc, we're going to put that back in and get the transmission back in. I'll still got to figure out how to get that emergency brake bracket off. I want to get that transmission out here on the ground where I can take a look at it. As it is now, I can't get the speedometer cable off it, and I don't want to ruin the speedometer cable because it works. So I'm going to post some pictures on here. So of some of the things. My camera lost some of its, what's going on here? Making some X's on me. My camera ran out of memory, and I lost a lot of footage. I'm sorry about that. And some of it was some pretty good footage. But I'm going to piece together everything I did. Yes, I got over 8 to 10 hours of editing on this one here. So it ought to be awesome when I get it done, because it was awful doing the job. I'm cleaner than I was yesterday. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All right, I'm going to let the camera run for a couple minutes here and post some of those pictures. And I'm going to clean up. Oh man, what a mess I got. I ought to post some more pictures too. I'll take some pictures of me taking some pictures, so pictures taking me pictures. That's me taking a picture of me taking a picture that I'll post some pictures over. All right. Remember to share and press like and tell your friends about it. If you know people that are doing these kind of things and maybe there's some information, I don't know. This one here bit me in the butt. But you know, I got a lot of other good stuff, like rebuilding that Kubota tractor. I mean, not Kubota, my S370 Satoth General Lee tractor. And we're gonna completely turn this into a pickup truck. Also, not on the back burner, but I was waiting for some warmer weather. My wife's car, it's a Dodge Challenger, we're turning it into a Plymouth Barracuda. You got that right, Plymouth Barracuda. It's not going to say Dodge nowhere on it anymore. All those badges, everything's going to be removed. We're putting the gills on the side. We're putting the graphics down the side. We're doing all of it. It's going to be an awesome job. So, but the graphics, all that stuff, the paint, everything that I need to do has to be done in warm weather. So you stick with it. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.